And this is section 3-8, slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. All right, vocabulary. So, use the graph at the right for exercises 1 through 4. I'm going to write parallel, perpendicular to complete each one. So line B is blank to line A. So it appears to be perpendicular. We don't have any other information, so we're just going to use perpendicular. Line B is blank to the x-axis. Line B looks to be parallel. Line A is blank to the y-axis, parallel. And the x-axis is blank to the y-axis, perpendicular. Okay, so we're going to write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of this statement. If a polygon is a triangle, then the sum of the measures of its angles is 180 degrees. So if the sum of the angles of the measures of the angles of a polygon is 180 degrees, then the polygon is a triangle. The inverse, if a polygon is not a triangle, then the sum of the measures of its angles is not 180. And the contrapositive, the sum of the angles of the sum of the measures of the angles of a polygon is not 180, then the polygon is not a triangle. Okay. So, vocabulary, reciprocal. Another form of this word is reciprocate. So the definition, the reciprocal of a number is a number such that the product of the two numbers is 1. So the reciprocal of a numerator over denominator is a denominator over the numerator. So reciprocal is just a flip. The reciprocal of x is 1 over x. And another way to think of it is this. Remember, x can always be written as x over 1. So the reciprocal is 1 over x. So we just flip it. All right, let's use our vocabulary. Okay, so we're going to write reciprocal or reciprocate. So after your friend helps you with your homework, you blank by helping your friend with his chores. You reciprocate. The blank of 2/3 is 3/2, the reciprocal. All right, so key concept here, slopes of parallel lines. If two non-vertical lines are parallel, then their slopes are unequal. If the slopes of two distinct non-vertical lines are equal, then their lines are parallel. Any two vertical lines or horizontal lines are parallel. So let's circle this. Circle the correct statement in each exercise. So between these two, oops. I got a little big here. Okay. A vertical line is parallel to any other vertical line. A vertical line is parallel to any horizontal line. Well, the correct one is this one. Vertical line is parallel to another vertical line. Any two non-vertical lines have the same slope, or any two non-vertical lines that are parallel have the same slope. Well, they need to be parallel to have the same slope. Okay, let's do a problem. So if line L contains the points -13, 6 and -1, 2, and line 4 contains 3, 6 and 6, 7, are lines 3 and 4 parallel? Well, in order to determine if lines 3 and 4 are parallel, we need to determine if they have the same slope. So, slope for L3, 2 minus 6, which gives us -4, over 1 minus the -13, which is 12, we get -1/3. Slope of L4, 7 minus 6 over 6 minus 3, which equals 1 over 3. Are these exactly the same slope? No. Are they parallel? Okay, no. Since the slopes are not equal, the lines are not parallel. Okay. So let's write an equation of a line parallel to -x y equals negative x minus 7 that contains the point negative 5, 3. So the first thing we identify from the line is the slope, and it's the slope of negative 1. So the equation line parallel to this must also have a slope of negative 1. So we're going to use the point slope form first. So y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Plugging in the information, so y minus 3 equals our slope, negative 1 times x minus a negative 5. We're going to simplify, so we have negative x minus 5. Add 3 to both sides, we have x, negative x minus 2. And that's how you do that. Okay. For perpendicular lines, if two non-vertical lines are perpendicular, then the product of their slopes is negative 1. If the slopes of the two lines have a product of negative 1, then those lines are perpendicular. Any horizontal line and vertical line are perpendicular. So true, false. The second bullet in the take note is a contrapositive of the first note. That's false. The product of two slopes of any horizontal line and a vertical line is negative 1. That's true because they're by definition perpendicular. All right. So are these lines perpendicular? Well, let's find the slopes. So for M3, we have negative 1 minus 7 over 3 minus 2 equals negative 8 over 1, which equals negative 8. M4, 7 minus 6 over 8 minus a negative 2 equals 1 over 10. Negative 8 times 1 over 10 gives us negative 8 over 10. So lines 3 and 4 are not perpendicular because their slopes does not equal negative 1. The products of their slopes do not equal negative 1. So let's write the equations of perpendicular lines. So we have the equation negative 3x minus 5, and it contains the point negative 3, 7. So the first thing we do is we identify the slope of the original line, which is negative 3. So the slope of M2 is going to be positive 1/3 because negative 3 times 1/3 is negative 1. So the equation, we're going to use the point negative 3, 7. So we have y minus 7 equals negative 3. Ooh, sorry, that's the wrong slope. We want 1/3. We want 1/3 times the quantity x minus a negative 3. So we have y minus 7 equals 1/3 times x plus 3. Y minus 7 equals 1/3 x plus 1. Add 7 to both sides, so y equals 1/3 x plus 8. Now, you can leave it in this form here. That's point slope, and that's the answer in the question. Or you can simplify it and write it in this answer. Both are fine. Just read the question. All right, so classmate tries to find an equation of a line parallel to 3x minus 5 that contains the point negative 4, 2. What is your classmate's error? Well, parallel lines have the same slope. So our classmate found the perpendicular or something. I don't know what the classmate did actually. So slope of the given line was equal to 3. So slope of parallel line is also equal to 3. So we have y minus 2 equals 3 times x plus 4. That's what the equation should have been. And that's the end of this section.